Hi, this is John. Welcome back to Thaumcraft Quick. So in this episode, I thought I would first show you what the thaumium gear looked like. Last time we learned how to make thaumium, and I told you there was armor and tools. So here is what the full set of armor looks like. The tools are basically the same tools you get from vanilla, just, with thaumium. They're a little bit better than iron, not significantly, but a little bit, and there are some enchantments you can put on them to make them even nicer. So there's the armor, and there are the tools. Now, I am in a magical forest biome right now. Behind me is a greatwood tree, and over there is a silverwood tree. Two kinds of wood we're going to be needing for this episode. So let's get started with Essentia Smelting. I'm going to go to the base, and I'll meet you there. Alright, now that I'm back at the base, let's open up the Thaumonomicon and go into Essentia Smelting on the Alchemy tab. We need to get 6 of the primal crystals, 1 for each aspect. So let's go ahead and grab those real quick. And then we can complete stage 1. And now we have to get many more. Now, if you did not have all of the primal aspects, they are pretty easy to get. You can get air and aqua from sugarcane. You can get ignis from coal. You can get ordo from smooth sandstone, and perdicio from sand. And terra comes from dirt and stone, smooth stone. So let's see here. So now we have to get a lot more. Vacuos, lux, modus, gellum, vitreous, metallum, victus, mortus, potentia, and permutatio. So that's a lot to get. And I think I forgot modus over here. Let me grab that real quick, and then I'll grab the rest of these. If you do not have all of these, again, you'll have to make them in the Crucible because you won't find them in the world, obviously. So I got modus from trapdoors, metallum from iron, gellum comes from snow, vitreous from glass, victus and mortus I got from bones, potentia came from coal, lux from torches, vacuos from bowls, modus from trapdoors, and permutatio. That's the hardest one to get. There aren't a lot of good sources of permutatio. So vanilla-wise, it's basically droppers and hoppers. So there you go. So once you have all of that, we can complete this stage. And the next thing is to build an Essentia Smeltery. We need an observation in alchemy and a theory in alchemy. Since we got 2 theories last time, we don't need to do any more theory crafting right now. So let's keep going by building the Essentia Smeltery. This was needing so many items, I had to make a second project chest. So let's go ahead and do that. So with alchemical brass and thaumium, you can turn them into plates by putting them in a row of 1 by 3. So you'll get 3 plates for 3 ingots. So it's a 1-to-1, but you have to have 3 ingots to make plates at all. So just keep that in mind. We're also going to need a crucible, which again is a cauldron with Salus Mundus. And let me get my thaumium pickaxe. Okay, so now we should be able to build the smeltery. If you have Thaumic JEI, you can hit the plus button to move items into the Arcane Workbench, which is awesome. I love that. So you should get that mod too. There we go. Essentia Smeltery. We need 2 brass plates, crucible, furnace, and 5 cobblestone. There we go. Let's go ahead and scan that. Do I scan plates? I guess I have. Okay. All right. So what is the next step? Okay, we can complete this. And now, to use the Essentia Smeltery, we need to make some arcane alembics. Those require greatwood planks, Essentia filters, brass plates, buckets, and aqua crystals with 50V each. So let's go ahead and get those things. So we can make Essentia filters with gold and silverwood planks. So we get 2 for each crafting, so I think we're going to need 4. Let's go ahead and scan that. And then I need to make the alembics. There we go. So that's 2 of those, greatwood planks, filters, brass plates, and buckets, and a couple of aqua crystals. Go ahead and scan that. So what are we doing with Essentia Smelting? Well, there are different words for the magic aspects in the world depending on what form they come in. If it's in the air, it's usually called aura or sometimes V. If it's in a crystal, it's definitely called V. And if it's a liquid, it is called Essentia. So we are going to cook down items into their raw aspects in order to get liquid Essentia to use for crafting. So let's go ahead and see how we're going to do that. We will want some way of getting the aspects out. So I'm going to go ahead and make some warded jars. Warded jars are glass slabs with glass panes with oak wood slabs. There we go. I will go ahead and, I guess I can't scan that. And I've got some files over here. So there are several ways to get the Essentia out of the alembics. And that's where they will be. They start out, you put fuel in here like a furnace. You put items in here to cook them up. They'll break down into what's called slurry over here, and then they will go down into the alembics. So I'm going to break down some netherwort, which has alchemia, vitium, and herba. I've got 16 of that. Now, if you read the Thaumcraft, you'll note that the Essentia Smeltery is only 80% efficient. And the big problem with that is that the other 20% is released as flux into the environment. If you look on your Thaumcraft, you can see I've got, I can probably read that myself, 13.8 flux and 139.8 V. When you have flux in your environment, it takes precedence over the V, and you won't be able to use it. I think there's a chunk boundary right here. Yeah, there we go, 132 and 11 over here. So that's how you can measure the V and flux in the atmosphere. So we only have 132. We would have more if there weren't flux in here, but unfortunately, you're going to have flux, and it takes some time to be able to control that. And the worst source of that is the Essentia Smeltery. But you're going to have it, so just got to do it. So I want to toss another wort in here. You can use any fuel source, so, planks or saplings or wooden tools, but alimentum is the best source because it breaks things down the quickest. So you definitely want to use alimentum. So when I go in here, we're going to get our Essentia over here, and then it will dispel into the aspects. And there you can see we're getting some released as flux. So now we're at, what is that, 28, 29, 27? I can barely see that. But there we go. We're getting that in there. And there's probably no more room to put things in the alembics right now. Remember, there were 3 aspects and only 2 alembics. You can only have 1 aspect in alembic at a time. There are a couple ways to get the aspects out of the alembics. You can use warded jars or glass files, and there'll be other methods later on. So right-click a file to get an aspect out of there, and then we'll wait for this to break down some more. And once that is done, we will get the other 2. There are ways to speed it up and reduce the flux it creates, but that takes more time. All right, I think that should be done. So let me get this, and there we go. So we've got a warded jar of alchemia, 1 of vitium, and 1 of herba. So we had 16 netherwort in there. So let's see what we ended up getting from that 16. So we should have gotten 48 alchemia. We got 39. That's probably 80%. I can't do that math in my head, but sure, that sounds about right. We should have gotten 32 vitium. We got 20. If my math's right, that doesn't sound like 80%, but, whatever. And we got 11 herba. Should have 16. That sounds about right, 88%. So there we go. We can place down these warded jars somewhere. And if you want to get a file of Essentia, which you will need later on, you can right-click the jar. So there we go. We now have a file of vitium. So that covers the basics of Essentia smelting. Thanks for watching. See you next time.